There's no sort of set book to it. Some girls come in, they want 3 different colors and everybody in a different style. Some people come in and it's traditional. I want everybody in the same dress. So I'm originally from Kentucky and just across the Virginia border, so not far from here. People think it's further than it is. And then I attended the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, Virginia, and lived there for 20 years, better part of 20 years. My background is actually in finance. So I have an MBA, my business degree. And when I was looking to relocate from Charlottesville, I decided that there the wedding industry is a really booming business in that area. And when I was relocating back to Bristol, I just saw a need for this type of service for bridesmaids and wedding planners and a way to build a network for the wedding industry. I originally set out to primarily bridesmaids. That was the original market, and basically a lot of bridal stores have stopped stocking bridesmaids dresses. A lot of people have moved to online. There's a lot of cheaper bridesmaids dresses available online these days, but I personally am not somebody that is comfortable buying stuff online without seeing it, without touching it. And even an inexpensive bridesmaid's dress is triple digits. It's an investment for somebody. And so what I wanted to do was noticing that the bridal stores are no longer, they have limited floor space, they have limited budgets, and they really focus on their primary merchandise, which is a wedding gown. So the bridesmaids dresses are sort of an afterthought. So they may carry one line, they have a limited selection, limited sizes. And so being someone who myself have been in a few weddings and know that I'm not comfortable with not trying something on or ordering something online, I thought, well, this is a fun way for people to make this decision together. It can be kind of a stressful thing to do. And it lets them see the dresses, touch the dresses, actually try them on, have an idea of what the quality of the dress is and what the fit's gonna be like before they invest in it. So originally bridesmaids, and I figured there might be a little bit of overlap for like mother of the bride, that some styles, I was like, oh, this could kind of cross. There's a lot of variety in bridesmaids dresses these days. And that's just not your pink chiffon anymore. Like colors and styles and fabrics, there's a huge variety. And so I would see certain styles that I was like, oh, I could see a mother of the bride using that style. Well, then I started noticing I have a lot of mothers of the bride, mothers of the groom, grandmothers of the bride and groom who come in looking for things to wear to those events. And they typically don't have time to order. They haven't allowed enough time to have a dress made or to have something made to order. So I've ended up stocking a lot of popular styles, popular colors for people to be able to carry out of here, to be able to take with them as they, when they come in. So my inventory's increased more than I expected, but I have there's as much need for mother of the bride and groom as there is for bridesmaids. things that have come about from that too. I do carry flower girl dresses, some that you can get in as little as 2 weeks, some that you need 9 to 12 weeks to get, but a pretty good variety. I started carrying tuxedos and suits for the wedding parties, and also do shoes, like formal shoes that sort of go with the territory of the dresses. But it's pretty much everybody but the bride, even though I do have a few brides who end up doing bridal shoes. They'll order bridal shoes here. When somebody books an appointment at the store is theirs. You know, it's for their bridal party. I don't let other people sort of meander around. They've got it to themselves, because it is a sample boutique. So there's a variety of styles but different colors, different sizes, different styles. The likelihood that the bridesmaid is gonna pick the exact color, style, size dress that I have on the rack is not likely. You know, things typically don't fit. They're too big or too small because it is a sample, and it's probably not in the color the bride wants. So the dresses are ordered rather than kind of purchased on site. And it takes roughly 8 to 12 weeks, depending on which company. I carry 10 different bridesmaids lines. So it depending on which line the bride chooses, it can take anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks to have those dresses ordered. And I like for them to have the dress about a month beforehand, so they can be hemmed or any alterations can happen. So I usually suggest people start looking about 5 months prior to the wedding for their bridesmaids dresses. I prefer the bride to have picked her dress before the group comes in. And then that way they have some time to kind of get everybody on board. Not everybody lives local. To get that planned, to get the dresses chosen, to get them ordered, to get them here in time to have them altered for the wedding without any, stress. That sort of was the idea, to begin with, was sort of like a little bridal party session. It depends on how big the bridal party is, in terms of how much time can get devoted to that sort of thing. But I have people who bring in like their bridesmaids gifts and exchange them that way. I asked someone for next weekend, asked if they could bring champagne, that type of thing. I do usually tell people that if they have a larger party, if they have more than say 4 or 5 girls, that maybe the bride does a preliminary visit to kind of narrow things down, because there's a lot of choices in here. And so to kind of keep things on track so that they do have time for that sort of bonding experience. Sometimes the girls don't know each other, a friend from high school or a friend from college, or, somewhere along the way, this is the first time they're meeting. So it gives them a chance to get to know one another before the actual weekend of the wedding. And I do try to help kind of problem solve certain things. Once they get in here, it can be a little overwhelming, the number of options that they have. So usually color can help narrow it down. If a bride is looking for a specific color, then maybe only a few companies carry it. If they're looking for a specific style, really popular right now is I get a lot of requests for sleeves, things with sleeves, varying lengths of sleeves, but that's a really popular look right now, are dresses with sleeves. And we're seeing a lot more bridesmaids dresses being offered with sleeves. So if there's a certain style that they're going for, that helps me narrow it down and kind of put them in the right direction too. Like I said, it's not always your typical sort of like poofy pink bridesmaid's dress anymore. If you're having a really formal wedding, I carry certain lines that, like the Amsala line is very elegant. It's a very elegant dress line, which does not look like a typical bridesmaid's dress, but works really well if you're having like a country club wedding or something like that. You know, like that's a more formal affair. I tell everybody it's their party. They do what they want to do. So I've seen everything from one single girl to 8 to 10, you know, and there's no sort of set book to it. Some girls come in they want 3 different colors and everybody in a different style. Some people come in and it's traditional. I want everybody in the same dress. So it's really just whatever look that they're going for. I try my best to help get them there. I would say for bridesmaids dresses, you can get things in as little as a month, but it's super stressful and it's more expensive to try to get things at the last minute. So the quicker that you make a decision, the better. But so right now, I have the majority of the parties who are coming in right now are planning weddings for July to November. You know, that's sort of the time range. The people who are getting married right now were buying dresses in January, you know, for weddings that are happening in April and May. So 3 to 4 months, you want to have the dresses not only chosen, but also ordered. It can be done in a quicker amount of time, but it is a lot less stressful and actually gives your bridal party a little bit more flexibility too. You know, the quicker that you make a decision on what you want, it allows them to be able to budget for it. Like I'll allow people to make payments toward their dress over the course of a couple of months versus, you know, coming up with all of it out of pocket, sort of on the spur of the moment at the last minute. A lot of times there's a little bit of lag with the designers and what is trending. So I do know, based on the market that I'm in, you know, what people are asking for is kind of what I focus on and try to stock. Not everything is a great fit that comes out of the designer lines. You know, one season, everything was super low cut. And I was like, that doesn't work here. You know, I can't do that. But not that there aren't some things that are still pretty low cut, but this time it was everything. But I kind of just listen to what people are asking for, you know, and you'll see a trend. You'll see what the trends are at that point and when they start to shift. And honestly, I see that the girls start asking for stuff before the dress lines have necessarily caught up with them. So they're usually ahead of, you know, the bride is usually ahead of the trend. But like I said, right now, sleeves are the number one asked for. People love dresses with pockets, though, you know, like that's a thing right now. And specific colors, you know, you'll see, you know, specific colors you have your classics, you know, sort of pink, navy, maroon, classic colors. Neutrals were really popular for a while. Right now, by far, emerald green this year is by far the number one thing that asked for. I have people who come from as far north as Blacksburg, Christiansburg, Roanoke. That mother of the bride in yesterday was from Roanoke. I would say as far south as Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Greenville, that's sort of the line there. To the west, I would say Princeton, Bluefield, West Virginia, and probably not mileage-wise, not that far, but like Mouth of Wilson, like the North Carolina border, people from that area as well, Mountain City. So a pretty, you know, people will travel for it. So I think every business hopes to expand, right? And I do take a look at styles that are not popular or, you know, things that I need to move off the floor. Like I said, I've picked up a lot more mother of the bride stuff than I intended on having. And things like pantsuits. You know, I had a lot of people asking for pants, so I have a selection of like formal pantsuits. But I don't really see myself moving into like bridal. Like that's not the end game. Like I'm here to focus on the bridal party, and that's expanding in that way, offering more sizes, more selection. I'd really like to expand my mother of the bride. I wish I had more space for that. And that's probably, kind of where I see things going.